patting our doozies, out here being a dirty girl. Speaking of girls, let's check in with women's basketball because we're going to be way better, I think, possibly this year. And John Smith, it's been real. It's been fun. Can we at least close this thing out on a title run?
You are Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, y'all, and hello, all. Welcome back to Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily stop for all things Cowboy and Cowgirl related. My name is Cody Stovall. I want to thank you kindly for stopping by to make this your first listen here on Locked On Oklahoma State. Of course, we are available on every single podcasting platform, and usually you can visually find me on YouTube. I implore you to go check everything out on Twitter at AllDayOState. And for those out there, not that there is anybody, but if there was somebody out there that's like, Cody, we're trying to see that majestic beard of yours again. You don't have to wait much longer. The new webcam and some other things that I got for the office will be in today, I believe, for the mail. So this will be the last one of these looking at not Cody's face thing, okay? But today, let's talk a little bit about this Northwestern thing. Because, you know, the concept of hazing, it's a little... Oh, heck, I'm trying to word this the right way. I'll just put it this way. Hazing, in the context that people think, yeah, obviously terrible. But there's also some stuff that you do when you get to college that help grow the camaraderie, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be wild. It doesn't have to be crazy. But there's things that you do as a freshman that, I don't know, just make you more part of the crew, right? You might have to go streaking in the quad. Will Ferrell status, who knows? You might have to dance up crazy and dance with the Palm Squad at a basketball game. You never know. And that's not a bad thing. Guys, there's a lot of good that can come out of building uniformity and camaraderie. Now, again, it can get a little wild. It can get a little crazy. It can get a little bit too much. And we've all heard those stories. Now, what's going on in Northwestern, you know, it's not the first time we've heard all this. And I highly doubt it'll be the last. You know, I think this kind of even reminds me of, to some degree, it's not the same situation, but Colorado back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s, Colorado was good. They were really, really, really good. And they were fun to watch. Colorado was good for a long time. And then they had this big old scandal. It wasn't hazing, I don't believe, but, you know, it was a recruiting violation for them getting strippers and things of that nature to hang out with recruits whenever they came to do their visits and whatnot. And, you know, you just watched Colorado go so downhill after that. Well, and then you also realize, though, it's kind of like the pay-to-play scheme. And we very rarely, you know, get any flack for this, but we do occasionally as Oklahoma State fans because, yeah, it's true. Hartley Dykes liked our color of Trans Am better. Dexter Manley couldn't spell his name, but he got a official education. Okay, so we know that it happens all over America, and that's kind of my point here. Obviously, I want to hear y'all down in the comments section. Let me know what you're thinking. But is hazing still going to be something that's fairly prevalent? Well, yeah, it is. It needs to get away from the completely negative connotations of it, right? You can't be drinking a bunch of liquor. That's ridiculous. You can't be going out and fighting people for no reason. That's ridiculous. Another thing that I would like to hear y'all's input on is the I don't know, just the idea that he had no clue what was going on. Like a lot of people's memories automatically go to the Penn State situation. You know, a lot of people in the beginning were like, "Oh, this Jerry Sandusky's a big old piece of turd nugget." And then as it more and more and more and more came out, it's like, well, hold on now. This has been going on for a hot minute, which means one of the most legendary coaches in the history of the game of football had to have been aware. Right? And yeah, of course it's sad. Hell, I say it, I don't mind. I was pretty upset when they tore down Joe Pa's statue. I thought that was unnecessary. But then again, you do have to ask the question, how much did he know? Because it's impossible. It is physically impossible to know nothing, which is the same stance that Pat Narduzzi is trying to take right now. And the legal stuff, that's very interesting. You know, because evidently he didn't sign something, so he shouldn't have got fired. I think it's really odd that he's even trying to get that specific job back. Lack of institutional control is not really something that's too high up on the resume. But I know I merry-go around here for a second. This brings me to the point is, in your opinion, how much does a head coach really know? And should they know more? Because our head man, the CEO style of role that he has taken, that he's earned, that he seems to be maturing in, we'll see how this season goes, but there's no way you know everything that's going on around campus. There is things you know. Yeah, sure. There is things that get around and you hear. Yeah, sure. But Pat Narduzzi pretending he had absolutely no clue is preposterous. Just like Joe Pa pretending he had no clue is, unfortunately, preposterous. This hazing stuff, it's never going to stop because of what it does camaraderie-wise. What needs to stop is the crazy side of quote-unquote hazing. You can call it something else. I mean, heck, some places I've heard of some dudes going rock climbing and rappelling backwards down ropes and stuff like that. That's cool. All right. There's good ways that this stuff can be utilized. Just the word hazing in and of itself just carries instantaneous bad thoughts. And the idea that the head coach has no clue, it's dumb, right? It's just dumb. But you all out here know what is not dumb. FanDuel. We're all into this baseball season, and you need to go ahead and take your full swing, your full crack at a bat on betting with the Major League Baseball on FanDuel. Because right now, you're going to get 10 times your first bet, bonus bet, up to $200. That's right. You get just $20 that you got to spend, and you get $200 back in bonus bets, win or lose. That is $200 you can spend betting on everything from money lines, over and unders, who you think is going to hit the next home run. Of course, the app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. There's no better place to bet than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Sign up today and join FanDuel.com/lockedon to get that $200 back in bonus bets, win or lose. That is FanDuel.com/lockedon. Go to FanDuel now and get yourself hooked up with this opportunity at FanDuel, the official partner of Major League Baseball. All right, let's jump back on track here. The next thing on the Dealing with Hobby is obviously Cowgirl Hoops. So we talk, a little bit about what we have going on the men's side of things and how advantageous it is to have somebody like Eric Daly Jr. on the roster, and then having some guys come in like Justin McBride, former 5-star type of guy. We're going to have a lot of weapons. Now, youth is a problem, of course, absolutely. Anybody who says otherwise is potentially crazy. But women's basketball kind of caught the league by fire. This is a team that was projected to finish 9th place in the league. And for large portions of the season, we were a legitimate contender for that top 3 spot. And this year, it's going to be no different. We talked the other day about this, quote unquote trend of players going to OU because Lexi Keys went to OU. And yeah, sure, that's fine because we're going to be pretty daggone good. I firmly believe that. Because of not only what we were able to kind of prove last year, but just everybody that she has coming in, right? So you got somebody from North Texas and Quincy Noble, out of McKinney, Texas, 5'10" guard. She has some good things in her repertoire that she can come use in Stillwater at Oklahoma State University, right? And then you got Elijah Douglas out of Omaha, Nebraska. She's got that 5'6" frame. She's got some ability, right? Whether it be off the dribble. And then you look at somebody like Ana Gradasi. We saw what she was able to do last year. When she got hot, the transfer from Arizona did some spectacular stuff. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch, right? And then you look, just the name of Jacie Hoyt is inspiring people to come in, right? Kind of like Kennedy Fauntleroy from Georgetown coming in to help, right? Chandler Prater is the most recent big-time pickup, 5'11" guard, transfer from KU, played a significant number of minutes for the Jayhawks, was a big-time contributor, and we remember what it was like to play there in Lawrence. Now, is the women's basketball team in Lawrence the same as the men's basketball team? No, it's not. But it is still something, and it is still something that you have to be ready for. It's something that you have to pay attention to. Getting Riley Langerman is pretty cool. Okay, she's an Okie from Norman, transferring in from Arkansas. Laura Garzon, she was another one, just like Ana Gradasi last year, that was able to catch fire from the outside and keep us in a lot of games that, we weren't supposed to be in. Laura Garzon, transfer from Villanova, is a sharpshooter, and she's back. I think that's the reason. So the reason that losing Lexi Keys is not going to hurt so much is because we got Ana Gradasi and Laura Garzon just from last year's squad. Right? We're not even talking about the fact that you have some of these other ladies coming in. Brenna Butler, a freshman. She's coming in Oklahoma State from Groover, Texas. And her 5'6" frame offers a lot. Hannah Gusters, big-time transfer from LSU. She was a McDonald's All-American, which technically makes her the first Cowgirl to don McDonald's All-American uniform. She was selected as Jordan Brand Classic All-American. She was named to the Naismith High School All-American team. She averaged 22 points and almost 11 rebounds her senior year of high school. She was tabbed 2020 Miss Basketball for TABC. First team All-Area Honors, Dallas Morning News. And her high school kind of won a state title, right? She originally went to Baylor. She was ranked number 16 overall player in America and the number 2 center in the country. Goes to Baylor. Has, some games where she drops 22, 20, 21. But she was looking for something a little bit more. She transfers again. And then she ends up at LSU where she played almost 30 games as a sophomore. And she made some stuff happen. Now she's coming to Stillwater, Oklahoma. is this a candidate for yet somebody else that Jacie Hoyt's going to be able to maximize and get the most out of? We got another freshman coming in, Mia Galbraith. Staley Hurd, another freshman coming in. Landry Williams. Didn't get to see her a lot last year, but she's a junior now. I think a lot of us remember getting the girl from Germany, 6'3", forward. I can't say her last name, so I won't murder it, but I know her first name is Praise. Her prep career in England, she averaged 11.3 points a game, 11.6 rebounds a game, and she was named the WBBL Young Player of the Year, finished with 10 double-doubles, a pair of 20 rebound outings. She shot over 50% from the floor, and she should be coming in as a freshman to compete immediately, absolutely immediately. And Jacie Hoyt's already spoken about how excited she is to land Chandler Prater. As it was last year, she was one of the best defenders in all of the Big 12, one of the better defenders nationally all across the country. And if she's able to replicate that, plus some in Stillwater, ladies and gentlemen, we're on a gold mine here. Jacie Hoyt is a gold mine. The team is like legitimately, considerably different than last year. I get that. But this is the new age, right? This is the new age of all sports. If you can make it work, it's a good thing. If you can make this work as a whole, I don't know, the transfer market, right? It has dumbed down a little bit of the meaning of being a fan to some degree, right? I think a lot of us like seeing the recruiting side of things, and we like seeing the players that are coming in, and then we like analyzing those players and saying, well, I think that kid's going to do good things. I think that kid's going to do good things, and I hope that kid gets a little bit bigger so he can, do some good things. And then as you watch them develop as a sophomore, get some PT as a junior, become a star as a senior, like that was part of the fan experience. Watching somebody go from, 5'10", $180 to 5'11", 230, been running a 4.4. You like to see that development. And then you like to see what happens after they leave Oklahoma State University, right? So I understand that it being legitimately a bunch of new faces is a little concerning, but last year was like a placeholder, right? Last season was her just trying to hit the ground running and immediately bring something in that was going to be productive. And that's exactly what she did. That's all we can ask for. So I do expect this season to be better than last year. I highly doubt people pick us 9th again in the Big 12, but if they do, so be it. We'll just have to prove them wrong. Also, not a big deal. The bright sides are really fun when you think about what Jacie Hoyt has building. All right. Yes, you can hear I got a little under the weather type thing, but we're almost out of the weeds, and then we'll have the webcam here tomorrow, which could be here tonight. It's possible. But the last thing on the ticker, obviously, is if you haven't heard by now, there are rumors going around that this will be John Smith's last year. And, it's a saddening prospect to think of. It just is. Like, I understand. But you also have to take it into consideration that we've gone from, like, I don't know, the most legendary wrestling team to ever be assembled for years and years and years and years and years and years. And we've just fallen so far recently. Like, we're just so far behind Iowa. We're just so far behind Penn State. And Ohio State is an issue, obviously. And we were always guaranteed to be in that mix. Well, and it hasn't been the same. It hasn't been that way the last couple of years, right? And it's not for lack of recruiting. Our recruiting has been great. We're still getting a lot of the guys that we want. So is it development? Is it accountability? Is it leadership? Is it toughness? Now, we all know that it has been talked about that AJ Ferrari, who is rumored to now be headed to Iowa for something, we all know that he was, I don't want to say cancerous, but he was a problem, right? The locker room was not great. Their workout sessions were just kind of scrambled and all over the place. But much like women's hoops, we got a lot of new names. But everybody should be pretty excited about what Zach Blankenship could possibly bring, freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma. Cooper Birdwell has a lot of good rankings, had a lot of good matches. I don't know a lot about the Connor Doucette was a massive, big-time get, in terms of rankings. We'll see how heavyweight shapes out. Gabe Fontenez, I think he's a pretty fun story. Kyle Haas, Jalen Harper, Dusty Hone, Daniel Montebog. That's going to be a big one. We got Master Giovanni, Travis, Trevor. Dustin Plott is doing a lot of really good things. Cutter Sheets, Wyatt Sheets' brother. Hopefully he comes and, he provides that additional layer of stuff that we're looking for. Sam Shearer, Oki coming home to help us try to revitalize this thing. Gavin Stika is going to be a pretty good wrestler. Luke Server has a lot of upside. Teague Travis out of Stillwater High School. Victor Avoyanovich could provide something. Jordan Williams, a very, very highly sought after kid from Tulsa. Reese Whitcraft showed some things. Travis Whitlake made a massive run not too long back, so hopefully he can get that back. Carter Young, we expect him to do a lot of things. Another Okie. We could be good. It is possible. We got the number one pound for pound guy coming in. Another really good recruiting class. So maybe it's not true. Or maybe it's true, but we're taking the wait and see approach. If we do something spectacular this season, then maybe this is not a conversation we have about John Smith's Swan song. But let's face it. We have gone so far down recently that we're at a stop the bleeding moment. So if this news is true, yes, it's sad, but let's at least go out on our shields, so to speak, right? Let's make a run at something this year and see what changes and see what people say and see what happens after that. All right, y'all. Appreciate you hanging tough with me. I will have the webcam ready to rock and roll as soon as it gets in the mail this evening. So, a matter of fact, I also will likely do a live episode sometime this week. So, I appreciate you all. As always, I love you. God bless. Go Pokes. And until the next one. All right, y'all. Thanks for stopping by.